Day number 6 of 8,125 days of studying leadership. Why am I doing this? I like to say it every time I get on. Why am I doing this? Because of the vision God put in my heart to have 2,000 partners, to partner a church of 2,000 partners and impact the world with the word of truth. So I know I need to develop in this area of leadership. So for the next 5 years, I'm taking an hour a day to study leadership. Why am I doing it on YouTube Live or recording it anyway? Because of accountability. One of the ways or a way that I can hold myself accountable is by showing up every day for an hour right on YouTube and doing my study right there live online. And I'm going to continue to do this. I felt weird about it initially, like, just your flesh, your mind wants to make you feel weird, but why not? It's a tool. Use the tools that you have to create the life that you want. So, we are studying, or I am studying, the 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader by John C. Maxwell. It's the first book I'm using, and we're going to continue to go through books. If there are books that you can recommend, go ahead and do that. Now, if you're ever in the Vineland, New Jersey, or the Cumberland County, New Jersey area, you can join me at the Millville Public Charter School in Vineland, New Jersey, in Millville, New Jersey, excuse me. And if you want to find out more about this ministry, you can go to our website, freeindeed.tv/give. Free indeed is our motto. Whom the sun sets free is free indeed. So go there. Let's get into this. Today, we're looking at quality number 8, which is focus. Focus. Everybody say that. Focus. FOCUS. What's that spell? Focus. All right. Let me stop being corny. I like being corny, though. Oh, it's fun. All right. Focus. The sharper it is, the sharper you are. Let me make sure. Let me see something real quick. What I'm doing is making this part of my daily routine. And it's always a challenge anytime you put something new into your routine, because you're used to doing certain things. Here it is, Saturday, May 10th, 2025. Usually on Saturday, I like to sleep in a little bit until like 7, 8 o'clock. But instead, I got up and it's now 5:57 a.m. We're jumping into this because this is a priority. And anything that's a priority, you will make room for. Anything that's a priority, you'll make room for. All right, focus. The sharper it is, the sharper you are. If you chase 2 rabbits, both will escape. Put that down. I need that quote. I heard it before, but that's a nice one. If you chase 2 rabbits, both will escape. What people say, what people do, and what they say they do are entirely different things. Margaret Mead, anthropologist. A different kind of one-track mind. In 1998, the Braves, which used to be my favorite team, don't watch much baseball anymore, or really don't watch any. The Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres played Major League Baseball's National League pennant, or played for Major League's Baseball National League pennant, and I had the privilege of attending several of the games. Back when I lived in San Diego, I was a die-hard Padres fan. But when I moved to Atlanta in 1997, I changed my allegiance to the Braves. I rooted for them all season long until they faced San Diego in the playoffs. Why did I change? I could not bring myself to root against Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn is the greatest hitter in the last 50 years, the best since Ted Williams. He has won an incredible 8 batting titles. Only Ty Cobb has won more. In his career, he has batted a tremendous .339 batting percentage. It always was a joy to watch Gwynn play. He is surely destined for the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. If you saw Tony Gwynn on the street and you didn't know who he was, you might not guess he was a professional baseball player. At 5 feet 11 inches and 220 pounds, he doesn't look the part of the star athlete the way someone like Mark McGwire does. But make no mistake, Gwynn is a talented athlete, having been drafted out of college for baseball and basketball. And though he was a tremendous talent, the real key to his success is focus. Tony Gwynn loves hitting a baseball, and he devotes himself to it. Several times each season, he reads Ted Williams' The Science of Hitting. Several times each season. A book he first discovered and read while in college. He watches countless hours of videotape. At home, he has a library of hitting tapes, continually fed by his 5 VCRs that he records games via that satellite dish. He even reviews tape on the road. When he travels for a game, he takes 2 VCRs so that he can tape and edit every one of his bats. And when he is not swinging the bat or watching tape, he is talking about hitting constantly with teammates at the All-Star game with great players such as Ted Williams. Some would say that's obsession, but I think there is a correlation between the two. I need to highlight this whole chapter. He lives it, he breathes it, he speaks it, he thinks it. Everything is hitting. It's not even baseball. All of baseball is just hitting. Gwen just can't get enough. Hitting is his joy. He has been known to arrive at social events with a batting glove sticking out of his pocket, having stopped to hit a few. And even when he's not practicing or watching tape or talking to other hitters, he can be found playing ping pong or doing activities that improve his hand-eye coordination. Even his decision to remain in San Diego his whole career has improved his game. One of my strengths is knowing how much I can handle, Glenn says. There are few distractions in San Diego. There isn't a lot of media hoopla that helps me to be consistent. I like this whole story with Tony Gwynn and his focus. Consistent is right. Glenn has batted over 300 in every season as a professional except one, his first. Columnist George Will maintains that people who are great at what they do, such as Glenn, have cultivated a kind of concentration unknown to most people. Let's write that down. What does it take to have the focus required to be a truly effective leader? The keys are priority and concentration. A leader who knows his priorities but lacks concentration knows what to do but never gets it done. Man. If he has concentration but no priorities, he has excellence without progress. But when he harnesses both, He has the potential to achieve greatness. Man, this chapter is really speaking to me. Look, I didn't highlight it. If you can see, let me see. There it goes. I've highlighted just about the whole page on that one. And this one, jeez, hitting me with the hits. I'm gonna write that whole chapter in here. I mean, that whole paragraph. A leader who knows priorities but lacks concentration what to do but never gets it done. Yes, he has. But no priority. Excellence without progress. But when he harnesses both has the potential to achieve great things. Right here, what are my priorities? And am I giving them the necessary attention? I frequently meet people in leadership positions who seem to major in minor things. They just don't that just doesn't make sense. It would be the equivalent of Tony Gwynn spending all his time studying base stealing. Now Gwynn can steal bases. He has stolen more than 300 in his career, but that is not his strength. And dedicating all his time to that instead of hitting would be a waste of his time and talent. So the important question is, how should you focus your time and energy? How should you focus your time and energy? Number one, focus 70% on strengths. Effective leadership or expective. It's myself here. Yes, I'm enjoying this. Even now, I said some will think, "Wow, Pastor, you're spending an hour a day on leadership." I know that seems like a significant chunk of time, but it really isn't. Right? Most of my time study is in study of the Word of God and prayer and preaching. So, but this is something I need to grow a church. So my focus now is shifting. I guess it's shifting on growing a church. So that's what I'm going to start putting the majority of my time into, or a good chunk of my time into growing a church. Effective leaders who reach their potential spend more time focusing on what they should do well or what they do well than on what they do wrong. Leadership expert Peter Drucker notes the great mystery isn't what people do things isn't that people do things badly, but that they occasionally do a few things well. The only thing that is universal is incompetence. Strength is always specific. Nobody ever commented, for example, that the great violinist Joshua Heifetz probably couldn't play the trumpet very well. To be successful, focus on your strengths and develop them. That's where you should pour your time, energy, and resources. That's, for example, like someone like Michael Jordan. He was a great shooter. They say he was a great defender. I don't see that in his game. Not great. He was good. Someone like Dennis Rodman was great. And look at that. They're the polar opposites almost. Dennis Rodman early in his career shot the ball, he was relatively good offensively, but once he figured out focus, he focused 100% on defense or rebounding, you could even say, and even more specifically, rebounding. Michael Jordan, as he got older, focused entirely on putting that ball in the hoop. They knew their focuses. They knew what they should focus on. They knew their strengths. Kobe Bryant, always a great well, I wouldn't say, some people would say considered great, but he was a prolific shooter. He did not mind shooting that ball and he didn't mind missing. But then you have someone like LeBron James, who I consider the GOAT, who is excellent in just about every area of the game because he focused on he put all his focus into every aspect of the game, and it shows. Well, let me write some of this down. Strength. Always specific. To be successful. Focus on and develop them. Time. Into them. One of the things is like, oh, well, leadership isn't your greatest strength, but everybody's a leader. Everyone influences. I've learned that enough. So you need to put more time and focus into it because it's something we do innately, naturally. But now I'm learning to pour my time into it so I can do it in a great way. Focus. Number 2. Number 1 was focus 70% on your strengths. Focus 20% on new things. Growth equals change. If you want to get better, you have to keep changing and improving. That means stepping out into new areas. Gwen modeled that several years ago after he had a conversation with Ted Williams. The old pro suggested that learning to hit inside pitches would make Gwen a better player. Gwen, who preferred outside balls, worked on it and his average went up significantly. If you dedicate time to new things related to the areas of strength, then you'll grow as a leader. Don't forget, in leadership, if you're through growing, you're through. Focus 5%. Number 3, focus 5% on areas of Nobody can entirely avoid working in areas of weakness. The key is to minimize it as much as possible. And leaders can do it by delegating. And leaders can do that by For example, I delegate detail work to others. A team of people at the Enjoy Group handles all the logistics of my conferences. That way, when I'm there, I stick to the things I do best, such as actual speaking. Reflecting on it. How would you rate yourself in the area of focus? Have you been majoring in minors? Have you spent so much time shoring up your weakest weaknesses that you fail to build up your strength? Do the people with the least potential monopolize your time? If so, you've probably lost focus. To get back on track with your focus, do these. How to get back on focus. Number one, work on yourself. You are your greatest asset in detriment. Work at your priorities. You will have to fight for them. I can tell by the amount of notes I'm writing in this chapter. This is very important for me. Focus. Number two, work on your priorities. Number three, yes, your boy is bilingual. Work and your strengths. You are reach. My potential. Number four, work with your potential. You can't be effective alone. Bringing it home to improve focus, do the following. How to improve focus. Shift strengths. Make a list of 3 or 4 things you do well. What percentage of your time do you spend doing them? Devise a plan to allow you to dedicate 70% of your time. If you can't, it may be time to reassess your job or career. Staff for weaknesses. Number 2, staff for weaknesses. Identify 3 or 4 activities necessary for your job that you don't do well. Determine how to delegate. Will it require hiring staff? Can you partner with a coworker to share responsibilities? Develop a plan. All right. Number 3. Create an edge. What do you mean here, Mr. Maxwell? Now that you've looked at priorities, think about concentrations. What would it take for me to go to the next level? Main area of strength. What new tools do I need? Rethink how you do things. and make sacrifices. Time and money spent to take you to the next level are the best investment you can make. I literally just pretty much wrote the entire base quality. Seems like it. Like I said, there'll be after this, after I'm done the book, reading it, I'm going to go back and study each quality in more depth and really put it in my heart. And this is why I'm taking my time to do this. I'm no rush. Like I said, 5 years. I have 5 years of really that I'm put allotting to really put this in my heart, and I'm sure that is something I'll continue to do even after the 5 years. Because once you stop putting gas in your car, what happens? It fails to work. Yeah. So time and money spent to take you to the next level are the best investments you can make. Daily takeaway. Experienced animal trainers take a stool with them when they step into a cage with a lion. Why a stool? It tames a lion better than anything, except maybe a tranquilizer gun. I don't think you get much work with a tranquilizer gun, probably. When the trainer holds the stools with the legs extended toward the lion's face, the animal tries to focus on all four legs at once, and that paralyzes him. Divided focus always works against you. Just right now, focus, focus, focus. Excellent chapter. Number 9, as we just continue to move along. Because I have my system now. It's like, okay, read and go back. Generosity. Your candle loses nothing when it lights another candle. Oh, that's a good. I like that. No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what they. Come on. Don't hit me with the quote. Excuse me. You guys are hitting me with the quote. Gosh, I like that one. I gotta write it down. That's Calvin Coolidge. No, even God. It's like we honor God for what He has given us. This is a good quote, in my opinion. Giving is the highest level of living. Come on, Mr. Maxwell. Let's go. Got a little quote with a rhyme. Giving is the highest level of giving. Sound like a rapper or a poet. We just thank God for giving us his son. It starts in the heart. Hey, we're over 45 minutes in. Cheap on me. It says, when you think of generous people, who comes to mind? Do you picture millionaire philanthropists from the turn of the century, such as Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, and Andrew Mellon? Don't know who Andrew Mellon is. Let me put that up here. Who is you know what? Let me check it real quick. Let me check this real quick online. Who is Andrew Mellon? So, Andrew Mellon was an American financier. Means he just had a bunch of money. Philanthropist and Secretary of the Treasury from 1921 to 1932. He played a significant role in the industrial and financial development of the United States, particularly in the Trans-Allegheny region. That just drives me. This is how I can go down a whole rabbit hole. Now it's like, what's the Trans-Allegheny region? Mellon was known for forming the tax structure of the United States government, during the 1920s, and was a prominent figure in banking, oil, and aluminum manufacturing. His contributions to art and culture are as notable as he was an avid art collector and philanthropist. Wow. Trans-Allegheny region. Let me just see that real quick. Is that like, I'm thinking Allegheny sounds like what they talk about, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Allegheny Mountains. All right, I'll look at that later in my own time. But that's pretty interesting. So John, what was his name again? John Mellon? Andrew Mellon. So he was a very integral to the way we have things in America, do things in America, especially in the tax system, I guess. All right. Those people have given away millions of dollars, but I want to acquaint you with another giver. She is someone you've probably never heard of, yet she typifies the deepest kind of giving, the kind that can come only from the heart. Her name is Elizabeth Elliot. John Maxwell, you are 100% right. I do not know who this person is. In the early 1950s, she accompanied a great group of missionaries to Ecuador with the hope of reaching the Quechua Indian, hopefully I said that, the Quechua Indians Among that group was a young man named Jim, who had been courting her since the 1947s. Good Lord. While they worked together and gave their lives to serving the Ecuadorian Indians, they finally decided to give themselves to each other and were married. They had been together for about 2 years and had a 10-month-old daughter named Valerie when Jim had when Jim and four other missionaries felt compelled to make contact with another small group of Indians living in the area called the Auca. The Indians had a fierce reputation. The earliest record of any contact with them was of their killing a priest in their 1600s. Since then, they had attacked every outsider who came their way. Even the other Ecuadorian Indians avoided them because of their brutality. As Jim and the others prepared to make contact, Elizabeth knew that the five men would be putting themselves in danger. Wow. But she was resolute. Mhm. The two of them had given their lives to the mission. See, that might pass some people, but that just hit me. They gave their lives. You give your life to the mission. You must give your life to the mission. For several weeks, a missionary pilot flew a small plane over an Acuan village and dropped supplies and other items as gifts. Your gift will make room for you. I see the scripture all in here now, Mr. Maxwell. They even included pictures of themselves to prepare the tribespeople for their first contact. A few weeks later, Jen and four others landed on a small stretch of beach on the Curare River, Curare River, and set up camp. There, they made contact with three Acuans, a man and two women, who seemed to be friendly and receptive. And in the following days, they met with several others. They told their wives by radio that they seemed to be making significant progress in befriending the tribe. But then, I just felt that. But then, a few days later, they failed to check in with the base camp at the appointed time. Their wives waited in vain to hear from them. Minutes passed, then hours, and then a day, and Elizabeth and the others feared the worst. Wow. A search party went out to look for the men and radio back bad news. They spotted the bodies of a white man floating in the river. The researchers found them one by one, with each It was the same. They had been slashed with Acu spears. All 5 of the men were dead. Now I gotta see this. How old was the daughter again? 10-month-old daughter. Wow. Man, that's something. That hits me. That you had this mission on your heart so much that you were willing to sacrifice your future, your family. Man, that's something there. Man. All right, is he going? Oh wow, my time is almost up. Under those circumstances, many people in Elizabeth Elliot's shoes would have gone home. It's one thing to be willing to give up a comfortable life in the United States to help other people. It's quite another to give up your spouse. But Elliot had a truly generous heart. Despite her terrible loss, she still wanted to help the people of Ecuador. She stayed and served the Pachayans with whom she was living. Wow. The mission is greater than the man. The mission is greater than comfort. Like that down. What happened after that is even more remarkable. Other missionaries continued trying to make contact with an Acuan village, and after a couple of years they succeeded. Immediately, Elizabeth Elliot rushed to the village. Was it to seek revenge? No. It was to work with the people there and serve them. Elliot lived and worked among the Akan people for 2 years, and many of them gladly accepted the message of God's love she carried, including 2 of the 7 men who had killed her husband. Wow. Fleshing it out. Nothing speaks to others more loudly or serves them better than the generosity of a leader. This was just, man, that was a heartbreaking, I'm telling you, that had some ups and downs. Like this, oh man, I don't even know if I'll have time. But we'll start. Nothing speaks. And we'll start there tomorrow. Well, my time is now coming to an end. This is day 6 of leadership study. Thank you for being with me. I'll see you tomorrow sometime. Until then, keep walking by faith. I love you.